Good morning, everybody. How's it going? I'm Jack, UI UX designer, illustrator, animator, really tall person. Let's see if I can fix my camera here. There we go. And did I say everything? Donut connoisseur. Welcome, everybody. Sean is here. Hi, Sean. Sean says, so early for you. Yes, it is it's just about 7. It's like I was starting to get ready at about 6:30, but it's now 10 to 7, so welcome everybody. Hey, Michelle. So yesterday, driving back from visiting my family, and so didn't get in until later than anticipated, so was not able to stream when I got back last night. So, streaming early this morning instead. Hanging out with you all, had to make it up ASAP. Let me switch over my screen so we can get to work, and I have the wrong mouse. I do have coffee with me, so we are prepared to start the day. Alright, so we were working on the Society of Sprinkles. I kind of blew up the main mark the last time that we last time that we streamed. Let me scroll down to make sure nothing is in the chat. Okay, so we started working on an iteration of the mark that was more similar to the type over here, and I wasn't really happy with. The thing that I was struggling with the last time is the thing that I've been struggling with kind of like the whole time with this ouroboros, which is how we ended off, and I'm not really satisfied with how any of these turned out. I started playing with the idea of using the infinity symbol along with it. Steven Booth's here. Welcome, Steven Booth. And I don't know. I think I just need to forego the whole like reptile look and just kind of go with something else entirely. What that is, I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna figure it out today. But I do like, of all the versions that we created, I like this. I also pulled in down here this regular donut that I've been using for like on my schedule and stuff like that, if you guys have seen that. So maybe this can spark some inspiration, because the bite marks as they currently exist don't really work at the small sizes. When you kind of look at them from a distance, they just kind of look weird. So I don't think that's really working. But it does work here, and it may just be a matter of scale and also a matter of placement. This isn't like cutting through the end of something, so we're going to see how that works out. Let me know how your day is going. Let me know how your holidays were, your new year. I hope you had a great new year. Last time we spoke, it was, oh my gosh, was last week, was our first stream in 2023? I think it was. I don't remember though. So the other kind of thing that was talked about the last time was this kind of starts to look like a C, which doesn't really bother me, but it's not really what I was going for. Let's talk about the things I do like. I do like the idea of having it split, kind of like it's folding over, the illusion of like folding. Although that will take away from being able to have it look like a donut. Maybe it's not as important for it to be so literal, because this is just kind of like hinting at all this. This is really working for me. This is really not, so we need to work that out. Same old song and dance. Welcome, Katarina. And I'm gonna grab this. Actually, let's start over here. And I kind of had this idea that maybe I would explore like 2 halves of something instead of trying to have like one cut section. I don't know what that really looks like right now. Similar to, I guess, our original here. I just kind of do that. Maybe something like similar to this idea, but it doesn't really connect all the way. I know that that's kind of like, I'm being very vague at the moment, but something like this. I'm actually going to copy these in. Something like this idea. So maybe there's a way to like make this kind of look happen in a single circle. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. I do probably need to keep that centered. Actually, let's undo that. I'm just gonna scale it up. I'm just gonna draw a new line. I know, I've changed my mind 3 times in this conversation. Essentially, I want to split this in half. I want to do it so the halves overlap. A bit. Which might mean making them slightly smaller. We'll see. Everybody hear me alright? I just realized that my headphones are downstairs, so I can't actually check the audio. I knew something was kind of off today. I don't have any audio. Sean saying the live stay have me so confused by their times. Yeah, there's a new schedule. I don't recall what the new times are, but I think that the that's not really what I had in mind. The new the challenges are now earlier in the day, and the other there's like kind of like it's just some things are kind of shuffled around, right? And I think yeah, so we've got the challenges are like one right after each other instead of being like spread out across. Before, I think there was like a challenge and then there'd be like another live stream like with guests, and there'd be a challenge, and now they're just kind of back to back. And then we've got like people on talking about stuff, and then Annika on with Let's In Design today, and the yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the schedule. Michelle says I'm confused too. Oh, Sean says the German and UK streams. Yeah, I thought I noticed that the I lost my train of thought. The UK streams were later than they normally are. Alright, let's play with this shape. What if it's like... I like want them to be like slightly overlapped. I don't know what I'm trying to do. But it's not this. You know what we can do? We can use the cheese wheel again. The last time I did this, it blew people's minds because they had no idea that this was an option. So we can use this to create our quarter circle or half circle or whatever instead. How do we want to do it? Let's see how it looks. How did I do that? Henry asks. So if you take a look at a regular circle and you kind of zoom in with the regular selection tool, there's this little circle handle on the end. You can grab that and just move it, and when you do that, it creates sections. So you can kind of like I think we called this the cheese wheel tool, but yeah. And Sean is saying if you hold shift it'll snap. Will it snap to 4590? That would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be convenient, but no, it does not. I think in the transform window you can specify the degrees though. So let me open up the transform window. Yeah, so in the transform panel under window transform, if you wanted to have it specifically 45, 90, etc., you could type it in here. It does not appear that you can use shift though to do it, so you can Can't use the transform window. Though. And that goes for a lot of other things too. I don't know how often people use these, but you can like shear things at specific angles. I don't know. Oh, rotate things at specific angles. Not that it matters with the circle, but anyways. Tatiana says cheese wheel. Yes, welcome Tatiana. Michelle was here for the... I think Michelle was here for the cheese wheel conversation. Right. In order to do this, I might need to make these smaller. Like one nested inside of the other. Not like that. Let's rotate it around first. And let's center each of these. Oh, I guess they are centered. I don't know. I don't know. That's not really what I have in mind. Michelle says there should be a specific button for this, with like the banana tool in Photoshop. Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry, I'm checking. We are on, I stream on Twitch and YouTube now as well, so I occasionally have to check over there and see what's going on over there. So you can also watch me there. It's just Jack Watson with a 0 in place of the O in Watson. Let's try. Oh. I have like a specific want in mind for this, and I'm not getting there. So I'm just gonna keep playing with it until I feel like it's what I want. I don't want it to be an exact angle where it's cut, I don't think. Thank you, Corey, for sharing those links. I mean, maybe we were onto something with this. This one in particular. Tatiana says, have you recorded the first part? We saved this one. I would really want to rewatch later. Yep, you can find all of the live streams on my Behance. If you just go to my Behance page under the, I think the tab is called videos now. If you go there, you can find all of my past live streams. They always get saved there. This one, other ones, all of them. You can even, this is something maybe useful to you, with that transform window, you can see that this has been rotated. If you've rotated something and you want to get it back, you can type 0 in and it'll reset the position. Sometimes people are like, I rotated something and now I don't know how to get it back to being in the correct position. That's how you could do that. Because it kind of saves that rotation. Obviously, if you rotate it more than once, then it starts to become a problem, but, you know. The more you know, and then we can kind of have it straight on again and line it up. I'm also using Command and U. I actually don't think I have... It doesn't look like my keyboard... my keyboard thing isn't on right now, and I'm not going to go and try and find it at the moment. Apologies. I'll have to go and make sure it's activated for the next stream. I don't know if I like that. But I do like this, and it kind of works because it's modular as well. I really like modular branding, personally. So maybe we do just go with this original concept here. And maybe it is just a matter of adding those drips to it. It's kind of weird to feel like I've circled back to kind of an original idea here, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. What do we think? This feels kind of the strongest to me. Yeah, no problem, Tatiana. Let me know if you have any other questions. It does still look like a C, but we might be able to rectify that. I'm going to make this all black for the time being. And then I'm going to go in here. Actually, I'm going to copy this group. Copy. Isolate the group and delete this set. Oh, this keeps getting unattached from the side panel, and I don't know why. Paste this in front. Actually, I think I have this backwards. No, I don't. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to see how it looks in context. We might actually be able to incorporate the bite mark. I don't know, I'm feeling this one. I'm just going to kind of move everything back up here, if I can, to fit it on the... I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it on the artboard. Let's see. Let's do some cleanup here. So I just have like the ideas I was messing around with that weren't really successful up here. And we can keep going with this idea down here. This is how I like to work. Just with many artboards. Group. So yeah, it's been a I was out of town this week, but I still had things I needed to do. I'm starting a new branding project, which I'm going to hopefully be able to work with on stream a little bit, so I'll be able to share some of that process. That's a real client project that I'm very, very excited about. I know we've had a few projects. We had Big Mouth Donut. That kind of died a little bit. I never really got a response back from them, and I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to it as a passion project someday, but just never got any response in the wireframes for that project, and so it made it kind of hard to, like, can't really move forward without feedback from them. But I have a new project that I'm starting up. That is exciting. Alright, let's delete that. Let's pull this stuff up. It's important to kind of like, you want to be able to look at it up close and say like, this looks pretty good together. I'm just going to snap this back over. And zoom out and say like, does it still hold up? You can see like, these hold up really nicely. Like I can still kind of read them even though they're really, really small. The stuff in here, it gets just like, the bite mark gets really hard to see. Even this donut, you can still like, you know what it is. It's kind of important to do when you're working on branding, is like, does this still read? Or is it getting, you can add details, but you have to be sure that those details are still clear from a distance, so. Long tangent. Alright, let's, I'm gonna use this bite mark here. I'm actually just gonna go here. And, well, actually, we could probably just recreate this as circles. Pass you down here. What the heck did I do here? This is like not quite fitting. There we go. Okay, that's good. We'll bring this out. This out. And then also gonna draw a line across here. Just so I know where the edge of this is. It's a weird way to go about making something like this, but I'm going to group it, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste it. I just want to see what it looks like in as a part of this. Gosh, this would be the perfect name. This would be the perfect logo mark for something that was a C. But we're not working with a C. But I do really like the way that looks. We need to get rid of the C, but let me know what you think. We got a version with the bite mark and a version without the bite mark. What can we kind of do to this to get rid of the visual of the C? I need to think about it. Unless we, let's see how this donut actually looks on its own. Like using the inside donut instead. So we have two options here. One internal lines, one not. I feel like this one reads clearer, so I'm going to go with the bottom lines. Alright, I like this direction. I feel satisfied with it. But I need to fill that gap. I need to fill that gap with something. Turning it the other direction is probably the only way to avoid the C, Corey says. We can flip it. Like this. That would literally match that shape. Or like, but then you'd have to contend with a U. I mean, we could go... I was trying to make it stay modular by having it be one of the existing shapes, but we could alter the position of this one. Like, we could go down instead. Or like something like that. You know what I mean? There you go. Smart Guide's helping me out here. The only real problem is that I'm actually gonna just like remove these for a sec so we're not thrown off. It doesn't fit with the original shapes in any way, but maybe that doesn't matter. Well, let's take a look at our, maybe we can utilize something about our, logo type here. I mean, my brain you go somewhere else. You go up here. Over here. So I'm not looking at you. Okay. I mean, I kind of like this. Like the shape of that, but it doesn't really work with the dripping lines. And then, like Corey said, the U. If you have it go this way, now it looks like a letter U. And I don't really like that either. Oh, every step of this is like some other weird hitting up against some kind of weird problem. Go this way. But then I have no place to put that either. Kind of looks like a horseshoe too. Well, that kind of plays into it, right? Like that, I don't really mind the horseshoe because that kind of like plays into the kind of like tongue-in-cheek humor of it, right? Like that's another kind of like good luck. It has symbology, right? And I'm kind of like playing with those. So that doesn't really bother me. I don't know. How do we feel about it being up? I feel like this needs to almost be bigger, actually. Larger. I need to go larger on that. Actually, no, I changed my mind. I don't like it that big. Let's go a little bit bigger. Actually, I think I like it smaller. And we can go here, go here. And pull this down. That does, I mean, this doesn't bother me. I actually kind of like this. It kind of looks like a horseshoe too. thoughts, opinions? Should we try to incorporate the, this thing that I was kind of playing with? Having it fold over still? We can at least try it. We can always try it. Of course, as the bite mark seems kind of redundant with the section of the donut already cut out. Michelle says, do you want to keep the C shape / open circle? I do not. I mean, not necessarily. I was kind of hoping that, like, so I do like the idea of it being, like I said, like modular. So we have this version, which is like the infinity symbol, right, of the donut lockup ouroboros. Like this feels pretty strong to me. I can't believe the only thing was just like adding the drips, and this looks great to me now. So he's, you know, going back to I don't know, stepping away and coming back to it kind of a thing. But I was hoping to have a version that I could have the lockup of the two together or the singular donut. And I think in order to make it work, it has to be referential of the original, like, modular piece. And so I do think it needs to have the gap just to like, for that modular idea to work. I don't know, like, I could be wrong. I'm not really a fan of doing something like this, like taking the original O here. We do need to revisit this maybe now that we're like playing with this shape, and like maybe it does become something else, but I'm not really a fan of going like this route, which is like bite mark and this. I feel like you lose it a little bit. Let me know. But maybe we don't need the bite mark. Maybe it is fine just like this. And then, oh, I have two. Look at that. You can do one with drips and one with the bite mark. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna leave it on the board as an option. I'm gonna go back here and pull this one down. And I'm gonna start with these. I'm gonna start over here. Alright, and then I'm gonna make this as large. I think this is how I did this before. Gosh, how did I do this? It's been a week and I forgot. This, come on. I'm trying to figure out the height of just this so I can make the circle height exactly the same. center it and move it over. Okay, this is exactly the circle. And I'm gonna make it, I think I just made it smaller. And this is how I did this. I'm looking for the Pathfinder. Okay. Thoughts on the twisting look? Yes, no, maybe. Back out and let's rotate it up. Parth says creative. Chocolita has a bunch of comments. I'll get to them in a minute. Oh, this is really gonna be a problem though, isn't it? With it too close to the edge there. I need to move this over. Maybe over here. I don't know. I don't really want it to be dead center. I mean, I'd have to do that to be able to have it be gray. Unless I put it in front. That can work. Let's undo all of that. And just put it in front and then bring it up higher. And like it's like dripping off of that center part, maybe. Thoughts? Alright. Michelle says you could do with one drip, one with a bite mark, or rotate the infinity symbol a bit and make it more vertical. Make it more vertical. For some reason in my mind, when I rotate the infinity symbol, it no longer looks like an infinity symbol to me. And I don't know if that's just like me, like in my own head it doesn't look like an infinity symbol anymore for some reason. Like maybe it does to other people, but I lose it. For some reason, it just doesn't read as much to me anymore as Oh, Michelle says it looks like an 8. Not a good idea. No, I mean it was worth the try. I mean, I could see where you were going. Kind of like it would start to look like the S, which could be a cool idea. I'm just yeah, it also looks like an 8. Abu says good. Diana says I agree. I mean, I kind of like this. I kind of like this direction more so than anything else so far. I ate donuts. Nailed it. Sean, you are right about that. That is clever. But it's always worth a try, Tatiana says. Oh yes, we're in the experimentation phase. We're trying to, like, get there with this visually. I'm glad we went back, though, because I was not happy with the way that the original one turned out. I think this is in a much better place. So I appreciate you all coming on this journey with me. I really dig this. I do. Bronk, how's it going? Welcome. Good morning. And Robert's here. Welcome, Robert. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. What else does it, really need? Do we need any other, elements? And we just start seeing how this looks as a lockup and with color and stuff. Frank says, early stream today. Yes, Frank. I got in really, I was, planning on streaming yesterday and drove in from visiting family for the holidays and did not get in until late last night, and so I did not stream last night, and I am making up for it this morning with an early morning stream, and I'm really feeling pretty good about this, but I want to see it in color. So we got a color palette over here. I'm actually going to go back out and grab it. We're just going to leave this all on this artboard. I'm actually going to go over here now. I'm going to pull this in. So the other issue is that I was trying to solve for is I want to have a logo that works in one color as well as full color, as well as yeah, so it's difficult to do that with this cutout. And what I mean by one color is, like, I really want, like, black and line. So let's see if we can kind of accomplish that as well while we're at it. But first, I'm gonna just make this all... We have to make a decision on what this is comprised of here. I think originally I had done gold and purple, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at the before times. Okay, so these, I did like the dark and gold combo. Clearly very much. So let's take inspiration from that for this. And that actually makes sense that the inside of this would be the darker color. And the outside is gonna be a lighter color. Let's go with this color maybe. And then the internal sections can be maybe this color. Robert's asking, Jack, have the DCC gone from 9 to 5 challenges or was it only temporary? I don't know about the length of like how many there are. It may be a temporary thing. I do know that the time change is gonna stay. So the new times are gonna be the new times. Oh, welcome, Adobe Live. How's it going? I'm Jack, UI UX designer, illustrator, animator, donut connoisseur. Clearly donut connoisseur, since that's what we're working on today is this Society of Sprinkles brand. And I guess branding designer. I've been slowly ticking up the number of branding projects I've done. So yeah, welcome. The only thing I don't like about this color combination is that it kind of makes this look like cheese. And I don't want it to look like cheese. So there's a problem. Let's try another color combination. We could add this. Let's try that. Let's do something fun. We can try using recolor artwork on this instead. And that, I find that's helpful for kind of like going through a bunch of color options. But we can set this to use only our color group here, our swatches, and then I can just kind of go through here. I have this set to auto, so it's just gonna base the number of colors it picks on the number of colors I have currently. And then I'm just gonna change the color order until I get something I like. Just kind of cycle through. Ooh, I kind of like that. But it looks even more like cheese. Oh, maybe we go with purple. Purple for the outside? And we do the dark inside. Thoughts on this? This might solve our problem. And then we would need color on the ends though. And I feel like we would almost need to go like that for the ends. We could even do 2-color, blue. I kind of like that. And then we'd have to pick a color for this. That incorporates the purple and blue as well, which I haven't been able to successfully do thus far. Been pretty unsuccessful in that regard. Of course, this purple looks good. Yeah, I dig the purple. I think that fits. But purple and blue, the blue is a little bit hard to see. Maybe we just go all purple. I do like all purple better than mac and cheese donut. I'm not here for mac and cheese donut. But we can also keep playing. Actually, I'll do that. Let's take a look at what other options we get with recolor art. Pick our color group again and just kind of go through and see. That's a little bit too Easter to me. I don't want to go that route. Mac and cheese donut. Too light. I kind of like the blue as well. The gold feels a little bit better, like for the outside. It doesn't feel as much like mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. I don't like that. Back to the purple. Blue. I feel like either version of this could work, like the blue or the purple. Maybe for this we could do blue and gold. I do think I would need to make that blue darker. Oh, but now we end up with that look. And this like gold or yellow doesn't really work. Tatiana says maybe try gradient purple and blue. We could try gradient, but I want to get like the base colors down first. You know what I mean? And I think this blue is too light. It just becomes hard to see. We have to go in here and edit this color up. And it starts to get a little close to the gold. That looks okay. Hit okay. Okay. I don't know. That one isn't as strong to me. I do like this very much. Let's throw this on the like, wasn't happy with that pile. I also want a version of this in one color, so let's start with the, let's combine these. Let's change this to be a line. Set this to be inside. Oh man, I think for this is gonna have to be like, the outside's gonna have to be lined. Something like that. I'm just fixing this. There we go. That's weird. Oh, because I joined those. Ugh, I don't really want to do that. Okay. Actually, I do. It's fine. Let's go here. Align this to the top and to the side. I want to delete this. I'm gonna isolate this group. I'm gonna delete this part. Back, and then we'll do this. Maybe it's like that on both sides. Like maybe this is from the center. Kind of gives it some nice, kind of gives it some depth that I like. I don't know, maybe not. I don't like that tangent. I do kind of like that. But I also like having the drips be different colors. Of course, so that is looking good. Okay, we'll go with it. It certainly has the more of the look that I was going for. This needs to be aligned. I'm just changing the line to be set to the inside so I don't end up with anything weird. There's this weird tangent here which I might need to explore, but I do think I like this. Candace is wild. When that happened, I was just AFK just for a short time. It's great. I'm glad you like it. This does work for me. Leo, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. The other color, or the other thing we need to test this on, is a dark background. That's sort of the other thing. I mean, I'm not done with this, like, mark concept yet, but I like to kind of, like, test it out before I... Let's lock this. I like to test it out like this to make sure that whatever I'm doing is working. I'm going to group both of these so I can isolate them, and then you can see that when you do that and you isolate it, it makes it easier to kind of see the colors rather than trying to change them over the dark background. We can actually select same fill color here, and then we can just change it to white. And we'll change this to white. We could have done the same thing there, but I didn't. But you get the idea. I just want to see how it looks over a dark background, and then for this, we'd have to pick a lighter color. And do the same thing. I'm going to group these. I'm going to isolate this group. This might be tricky, because I don't want to go into the realm of mac and cheese donut again. So let's actually try. And this is where I'd have to adjust these colors, but I kind of really love this color combination of like the blue and purple on the, at least on the dark background. I would not love it so much on a lighter background, but I think it's really fun on the dark background. But for this, we would have to darken one of these. I actually think in this case we might have to darken the purple instead. I'm just gonna pull this over a bit. I don't know why I keep misselecting that. It's definitely fun, maybe too fun. Maybe we could use the gold here. No. I know I'm just kind of arbitrarily adjusting these colors for now, but I don't know. I really like that. I really like that color combo. I really like the imagery. I'm digging it. Also, Gareth, I don't know if I said hi to you, but welcome, Gareth. Yes, I think this is the right direction. Which I'm very satisfied. I'm very happy with this. And we've gone and redid this, and I like the way it looks now. take a zoom out, take a look at how it looks with all of this. Would need to add that purple in. To the color palette. Artists Online, hello from Pakistan, welcome. There's something about this purple that I'm not so keen on. Let's kind of maybe try to get between those two colors. A little bit like down. It's better. Looks a little bit more between my original colors. Oh, that's weird. Looks pretty good. I have another question for you all. Do you think we should I don't like that. Do you think we should merge these? The reason I say that is then I could like round them out. Like go in here and, although this is an annoying tangent, maybe I need to bring this up higher. Merge all of these. Like, round out the corners. Yes, no. Eight. I think that's what I have up here, which is why I'm wondering if I should do that. Michelle says no. Don't round the corners. Leave them straight on. Farouk, welcome. Alright, no round corners. I'm just selecting these and seeing what it looks like on here as well. Makes it hard to see the details. Alright. I trust your opinion. I like how it's ambiguous as well. Like, there's just something like, is it frosting? Is it something else? Like, it's the same kind of like ambiguousness that you get from the original logo type up here that I'm a big fan of. Michelle changes her opinion. Or maybe slightly rounded, because I do love round corners. Well, we can always do that kind of like finalizing, those kind of finalizing details later. I'm still kind of playing around with this concept. But let's move this over here. Move this over here. And do a Command C and Command F. Brooke's asking what I'm working on. I'm working on a branding project for the Society of Sprinkles. It's kind of a long explanation, but it's like a personal branding project. Go back up here. I just kind of liked the alliteration of the words, and I thought it would be a fun, like, secret society. Not literally, but just kind of like playful, like a playfully humorous, tongue-in-cheek humor. Silly, whimsical, but also like not silly, not too silly. Brand. I thought it would be fun to make it like a secret society with like different factions and stuff like this. Maybe making my like subscription on Behance be like a Society of Sprinkle, like branded as a thing. So that's sort of what I was thinking. And the idea here is I'm pulling from donut imagery as well as like the ouroboros, and like we played around with like the, I keep calling it the evil eye or the all-seeing eye, and I don't remember what this is called explicitly. I think it might be called an evil eye. Just like playing with these kind of symbols. You can see my notes up here. Ouroboros, math or geometry, Masonic symbols, infinity symbol, decoder ring, Art Deco, Art Nouveau. We kind of got away from that, although we still have the font. And then we got more elaborate ideas down here that are kind of like abandoned or set aside for the time being. We may come back to that, but for now the little donut creature wasn't working for me, so we kind of like nixed it. We also came up with all these factions, which I have actually represented over here as icons. The beignet one needs a little bit of work, but we came up with all these different factions so we could create these like co-branded elements. The Glaze Guild, the Icing Institute, the Honey Rollers, the Risen Republic, the Commonwealth of Cake. Very just silly. And so if you go down here, you can see the Cult of Grillers, how I used the... I was coming up with some of the like logo type lockups with the like different factions co-branded with it. So we're gonna keep going with that. And but I did want to have a mark. I felt like it was important to have a mark, and I wasn't happy with our original mark. So it looks like we got a bunch of people joining. Shahil, thank you so much. Welcome. We've got Sookwinder. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sookwinder. Thank you for the follow. But yes, Farouk, we're using, I'm an illustrator. I think we might have done some of this on the iPad. I can't honestly remember. But also, welcome, Rick, to the stream. But I was just kind of playing, we worked through this kind of like new design. Let me kind of back up and show this. This is where we ended up before. I just kind of like unhide all of my initial branding here. You can see where we kind of started, and I thought there were a lot of good ideas here, but I wasn't really... We went down this whole rabbit hole of this like creature, and I wasn't really happy with how it turned out ultimately. No, like, not that it's bad, it just wasn't the... This was a fine thing as a standalone thing. It just wasn't really what I had in mind for the brand specifically, and I feel like this is a lot closer to what I had in mind for the brand. Like, this is the direction I kind of wanted to go. This feels a lot closer to the look and feel. It feels right. It feels like how I wanted to, the brand. This feels a lot closer to what I wanted to portray, so I'm happy with it. But anyways, I was coming over here to do something, and I don't remember what it was. I think I wanted to... This looks great, but before I start playing around with lockups, I do wonder... I'm not, like, totally in love with this. Feels a little bit, like... starts to get a bit lost at smaller sizes. I don't know if there's something I can do with, like, this bottom drip here, like, really nicely balances the space, and then we have this really awkward space up here. Obviously, I can't just, like, flip this, because that would make no sense. Because icing doesn't drip upward. That would be extremely weird. But maybe it's just a matter of moving it over from the edge. It's not as close to the edge. Obviously I need to also pull this up and make it the same color. Delete the icing on the left one and replace it with the bite mark. Let's see here. Where did I put that bite mark? Oh, it's up here. That was Michelle, by the way. Thanks, Michelle. Let's leave it for now. Let's copy this. Paste in front. Delete this. And let's see what this looks like. Maybe a teardrop. Bite mark. 1 or 2. And then what do I do with this top space? What can I put there that isn't going to take away from what I already have? I don't know. I started before trying to put these like random sprinkles in places and I wasn't really happy with it. So I'm hesitant to do that again, although we do have our sprinkle rush. Michelle says, meh, sorry I keep changing my mind. No, I mean, again, it was a logical, like, thought. I'm just not... I'm trying to, like, beyond this, think of, like, what I should add to the top here. Or if there even needs to be anything. I just feel like it feels a little bit unbalanced at the top. Because there's, like, extra space up there. But maybe it doesn't matter. You know? I'm gonna drink some coffee. How's everybody doing? What's everybody working on? I like the bite mark because it also looks like a cloud. Take a look at some of our thoughts here. Let's take a look at maybe like decoder ring. I feel like when I looked up decoder ring, that was the thing that led us down a not so great path. Because we started adding a bunch of stuff to this. When all else fails, you can always add sparkles. That's a fact. Karen says, I'm figuring out why my PDF with 3 pages weighs 130 megabytes. It might be the content in the file, Katerina, if you've got a lot of placed raster art, if you've got like really large JPEGs or PNGs or anything like that. So Michelle's trying to get my ideas for projects on paper and actually do something with them. Like for the year, like a New Year's type of thing. Happy New Year to everybody in the chat, by the way. I'm still trying to figure out if we're going to do something for the Lunar New Year. Last year I did the... last year was the year of the bull? Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on this? Year of the ox. No. What the heck was last year? It doesn't really matter, but I'm trying to decide if we're going to do something for the year of the rabbit. The Lunar New Year is the 22nd, and so I think that we will probably do something closer to the end of the month. Last year we did an SVG animation, and I feel like we could do another SVG animation. Since we haven't done one of those in a while, it might be kind of fun to do something for the year of the rabbit. Last year I did, I feel like it was last year, but it might have been the year before, the year of the ox. Also, hold on a second, I need to switch my screen. Thank you, Ted, for the follow. I actually know Ted in real life. Bam. Thanks, Ted, for the follow. Ted is a friend, previous co-worker, I suppose, in ways. So, thank you, Ted, for the follow. Nice to see you. Hope you are doing well. Michelle says last year was the year of the tiger. Before that was the year of the ox. I don't remember if I did something for year of the tiger, which is really disappointing if I didn't. But this year I will. I'll plan on doing the rabbit. But, oh, ID and Schmid? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm just going to call you Adine for the time being, unless you object to that. You can use the Magic Wand tool for selecting objects with similar color tone, stroke color, or opacity. It's quicker and help me in my workflow. Yeah, you can also, that's a good tip there, if you didn't know. You can also use, let me find it. I don't remember what tool it's under. Here it is. If I select this, it will actually select everything that has the same appearance, actually. So what it's doing is it's selecting everything that's got the same appearance. In this case, this has just a fill color on it, but if it had a more elaborate appearance, like if we had something that had different effects on it or whatever, it would also look for things that had those applied to it. It's similar to Select Same. I like Select Same, particularly with the new options that they have for text. I think that the text stuff is really nice. And then also I like to use the same fill and stroke selection as well, because sometimes I want to select things with a little bit more finesse, which is why I tend to go over here and say like, I want things that have the same stroke weight or the same things that have the same, these particular parameters. I believe you can double click on this though and change the way that it selects. Yeah. So if you go over here and with the magic wand tool, over here on the side, I'm sorry, it's really hard. There we go. This little guy over here, if you double click on it, it's going to open up this little window for you, and you can make a decision on, you know, do you want it to select which parameters you want it to select by. And I'm not entirely sure what it means here by tolerance. I think that if I decrease the tolerance, it's probably going to pick a wider range of gray values. So if you wanted to pick like all of the grays or like all of the similar colors, it's going to pick things that are closer. That tolerance up higher is probably going to pick fewer colors. It's going to pick like only things with that exact fill color. So another option for you. I would be lost without the select same options. On a similar note, because I do use select same to sometimes like clean up files, like you've probably seen me use it to clean up clipping masks. However, and it has been a minute, so I have to find where this is. I don't use it as much as I used to. You can actually go and select object, and this is also really helpful. Select object stray points. So if you're working, it's just like, I don't know, it's a good habit to get into when you're done with the file. Go into that select object stray points and just hit delete to get rid of any like random points you might have left. It also, I think, selects, I can't remember, but I feel like it also selects like empty text blocks. We can actually test that theory. I'm just gonna make like an empty. So now I've got like this text here, but it doesn't have anything in it, which is really annoying, right? Like, I've just got this point text here. I think if you go to, and you can really easily like miss these things, and it just makes your file kind of messy. I think if you choose select object straight points, yeah, it selects those stray. Apparently, I have a couple of them in here that I can delete. So yeah, you hit that select same. Oh, these might be the, I don't want to delete those because those are actually my sprinkles. But if you wanted to delete, it's a way to clean up your file. Sometimes it's helpful, but in the case of the sprinkles, it's kind of annoying. But I'm just going to drag the select and hit delete. I don't need that stray text box. But if you have a tendency to accidentally like leave empty text boxes or whatever, you can just go in there and clean up your file. So I don't know, it's a handy thing. You could also probably make an action for it. I should probably, that would be a good kind of like stream to go over. You can actually make actions too in Illustrator, just like you can in Photoshop. I don't use them as much these days. I used to use them really heavily when I did production art. So if you go into Window and you go into Actions here, I use them. I think I might not have them loaded on this computer, but I have a bunch of actions that I've actually showed before for like making isometric art if you wanted to use the scale, shear, and rotate method. But I've used these a lot in a previous life as a production artist to like, there was one particular project where I needed to like convert a file to grayscale and then like change and add a specific spot color to it. And so I had like two separate actions that took like a file and converted it to grayscale and added the spot color I needed in or something like that. It was like one or two actions. I've used them before for like exporting specific file sizes and a lot of other things. They're actually quite handy, but you could probably set, my point in all of this is you could probably set yourself up a default action to go through and do like object, where was it? Select object, stray points, and delete, and just like run it through your file if you had a bunch of files. So tips for you this morning. Okay, what was I doing? I was trying to figure out what I'm going to put up here. We have this line element, but I don't think it's going to work here. Let's copy it anyways. We can kind of copy both of them. Kara says, didn't know that was there. Yeah, it's really handy. And they did a huge update, not like super recently, but relatively recently, adding more options, because before you could only select a text object, but now you can select things by fonts, by font and style, by font style and size, by size, which is really super handy because there is the like type find and replace font, but sometimes you want to like change a specific like font style from being bold to italic or something like that, and so it's really handy to be able to like pick those things and like grab just what you want, or like a specific font. So you want to change all the type that's like 16 point, you want to change it to 18 point, you can select same type size and change the size of it all at once. Really handy stuff. I just don't think this is going to work unless we can somehow incorporate it into the existing design. It just feels like a little lost. There needs to be another element like for it to drip off of in order for this to make sense. And I don't want to put sprinkles up here. That was kind of my first thought. Sean says you should teach a DCC. The thing is, I'm not sure if the action stuff would be too complicated. I would love to go over it. I just worry about, it's like, if you are completely new to Illustrator and you've never used it before, you would have a hard time already just kind of like navigating, like, Illustrator is like vector based. You have to make objects for everything, or like paths. Everything's path based, right? That's kind of like already kind of difficult to wrap your head around. But then you add like the actions are kind of like another level of abstraction on top of the program that might be like confusing. Like, I don't know. I worry that like how could I explain actions in a way that wasn't like, that was something that people who were just starting to use Illustrator could use. Because there's actually a lot of really nice built-in actions already. Now this is turning into a whole conversation. But if you open up the actions, there's actually a lot of like really nice ones already built in. Like you can actually run actions to batch export JPEGs and PNGs and stuff like that. There's also default for, like I said, grayscale. Like grayscale I think is actually a default. Maybe it's not. I feel like converting things to different colors was already an action, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's in this. Nope. And that's the other thing, is it has to be very like specific. Like actions are usually trying to solve a specific problem that you have for like a large quantity of files. Like I tend to use an action for like, I want to change this parameter in all of these different files. So you'd have to have like multiple files, and what is the thing that you want to change, right? So if it's a pain for you to have to like open and make that change and save it, and then close it and open and save, that's where actions really kind of benefit your process. If you had like, so this graphic styles one, for example, let's talk about that. That's really handy. I've kind of gone over how to use graphic styles before in the past, but if you had set up a separate graphic style for like a text style, right? And you wanted to apply that new graphic style, that new text style, you wanted to make, I don't know, decorative text, chrome, neon, you wanted to make neon text, right? And you had a bunch of files. Let's say you were making name tags for people or something like that. Like you needed to have a bunch of name tags, you need to apply this graphic style, and they were all already in individual Illustrator files for some reason. You can run this action here to apply your graphic style that you had made to all of those individual files. I'm trying to think of a better example, but that's just kind of the first thing that comes to mind. Or things like sizing, you know, or specific color changes, exporting different file types. Like if you needed to export multiple file types from a single file, like you needed a PDF, you needed a JPEG, you needed a PNG, you needed all that all at once. Like you were making branding, that's a great example. You were working on a branding project and you needed to export a lot of different file types, and you had different files, you could do that as well. Michelle says maybe there could be different level DCCs, like newbie, advanced, intermediate. Yeah, that would be cool. You never know, maybe in the future. Katarina's saying, Sean, doesn't she already? Sometimes I occasionally do. I can't think of any better examples. I'm sure you guys can come up with actions. You can find other ways people have used actions if you just do like a search for like Illustrator actions online. I know that there are some people that really get in the weeds of the graphic style stuff, so. Sean says, have you noticed you can't add bullets to graphic styles, or it could have been an operator error? I don't think you can. I think it's because it's a... Let me just add a sprinkle brush to this. There we go. We were trying to add some sprinkles. I don't think this is what I was saying, in that, like, I'm not sure that I want to add sprinkles to this, because it just seems totally random to me, but I haven't actually tried to add a bullet to a graphic style. However, I tend to think that when I am trying to, when I know that I want to use something over and over again, I think about whether it needs to be, because I think graphic just, what am I trying to say? I think graphic styles have to be things that can be applied in the appearance panel. So we can make graphic styles of anything that is an appearance. I like to call these like appearance properties. And I don't think the bullets, I could be wrong, I don't think the bullets show up here as like a parameter. So I'm gonna make some text, and I'm gonna go to character. Although, please make a user voice. If you guys aren't on user voice, make a user voice request for this. But yeah, you can see here that because the bullets don't show up here, I think that's at least how I think of it. Is I try to think like, if it doesn't show up here, it's probably not going to work. You might be able to use, you might be able to make a character style or paragraph style. I don't use these very often, but I do know you can make at least character styles. Oh gosh, now I'm going to get in the weeds of it because I don't remember how to do. Yeah, so you can go to paragraph styles. This is all for you, Sean. This might help solve your problem. But if you've got a character style, let's say I have not set this to be like, I haven't done anything to this, but let's say I wanted to save this as a I like this, I want to reuse it. You go down here and use a paragraph style, and then if you made some new text here, if we have a whole, we've just got new text here. Set, I could just go into my paragraph style and apply it. So that is probably what I would do instead of trying to utilize the graphic styles. I mean, no apologies, Sean. That's a good point. Sean says, didn't think of that. Makes sense. Sorry. No worries. I don't use these a lot because, I don't know. I use them a lot in InDesign. I just don't ever think to use them in Illustrator, but you totally can. If you were working on a really elaborate project in Illustrator that you wanted to have character styles stay the same across like multiple artboards, like I know you're working on, Sean, those like streamer definitions, you could set your styles up for your text and you could save them as paragraph styles or character styles. So they work the same way like in InDesign. So paragraph styles, obviously paragraph attributes like paragraph spacing and things like bullets. And then characters would be things like your like font styles and like, you know, character styles, individual characters versus like paragraphs, if that makes sense. You could probably set everything up like that because there's also character styles. And they work the same way that they do, and you could like name them, and then you could just like set your text, and instead of having to go and like reset it every time, just apply these character styles. That'll probably help you. I don't do a lot of like that kind of stuff in Illustrator, but that also makes me think like it would be really cool if those styles could like transfer. And now you've got me thinking, like I wonder if I set up styles in InDesign, like it would be nice to be able to like have them talk to each other, like go between programs, or have some of like the what is that new InDesign where it like applies all the styles for you. Something like that would be cool to have in Illustrator. One can dream, right? Sean says InDesign to Illustrator and back. Yeah, like why not be able to have character styles? Because it says right here that I can save these to my library. You can actually save character styles to your library. You obviously the fonts don't come with it. That's kind of one caveat. So if you've actually done this before on branding projects, I've set character styles in Illustrator for the brand if they have like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example, but I've done this before and I've saved it to a library. And then as long as they have fonts and they're opening it in like an Adobe program, they can apply that character style in whatever document they're working on. It honestly depends on the project and everything like that. But I have a question for you, Sean. Can you use those character styles in Adobe Express? Because I haven't tried that. So that is of interest to me, personally. Like if I save a character style from Illustrator to a library, can I go into Express and use that character style from that library? You'll have to let me know. We have gone on a huge tangent, and I apologize, but I hope that we all learned something from this massive tangent. So, Sean says, I'll play with that, but I doubt it. You can't even get colors. Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is actually relevant at this very moment to me personally. But that's the thing about Express is like I want to just be able to. I have so much content as a I don't want to say veteran, but as a longtime user of Adobe products, I would really like to be able to just utilize the stuff that I already have in Express very easily. Like I want to be able to use some of those tools like the content scheduler and stuff like that, but it would make my life so much easier if there was a way for me to like move that content over easily. And it's just like hit or miss right now. Sean says tangent. What a streamer does when they don't want to do the work they're working on. I actually do. I want to like solve this problem, but I was so invested in the conversation that we were having because I was like, it's something that like, yeah. Anyways, sprinkles. I was trying to see if I could fill the space with sprinkles. It just feels a little bit awkward to me because we don't have sprinkles anywhere else. And I don't know. Thoughts? Opinions? Sprinkles, welcome back. I was playing too with this idea of like having these things like boxed in. That's another idea, is we can kind of like box it in a little bit. There's another option. I tried the little crumbs, but that looked kind of weird. I really don't want to go sparkles. I do a lot of sparkles, and I'm not a fan. I mean, I'm a fan. That's the problem. I just feel like it's kind of like becoming overdone at this point. When all else fails, try to look up donuts. Actually, I could probably just look up here at our set of icons that we made and see if there's anything that catches my eye. Not really. A donut is such a perfect, like, encapsulated shape in itself that it becomes difficult to add anything else to it. Michelle said clouds. The bite mark reminded her of clouds. Can I do anything with that? This is my typical go-to for clouds. We will use the shape builder here. We will erase all of this. Nope. Oh, and we can join all of this. And then we can try this again. I don't really know what this says. Other than that's an element that works. It does feel a bit out of place, but at least now that line is attached to something. I don't know. Our notes up here give us anything to go off of. Art Deco, that's where I kind of get those accents from. Masonic symbols. Take the bits from the bite mark outside as a half moon. I thought about that. That's like briefly. That's why I grabbed this to try and like see if I could come up with something. But it wasn't really working. It certainly works better with the bite mark version because that kind of fits in there. But if we didn't want to have the bite mark, what would fit in here? I'm not sure. You know, sprinkles. Other bits of donut. I actually made these little donut halves at one point. We made like a whole little repeating pattern. We could bring these back. Actually, I think I like these better. They just look like they draw too much attention in my mind. More like half circle. Robert says for that moons. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Like maybe I can just maybe for the lockup. There's a way to let's grab this. Go here. I'm sure it'll look fine. if I do something like... this. Oh, come on. But for everything else, I'm not sure. Now it's a turkey flag? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, turkey, the flag. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's fine like this. Maybe I need to just be satisfied with that. I just worry about it standing on its own. But maybe we don't have that standing on its own. We just use this version. Lots of decisions that I have to make. But we made good progress. I do think I'm going to hop off. So, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you all. I think that we made good progress on this. I'm happy with the direction, which is good. I don't have any complaints about where this is ending up so far, and it works with the look and feel that I kind of wanted to go for. So thank you all for helping me work through this, and I hope you like it too. And also good morning. Sean saying, have a good day, Jack. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for hanging out with me all this morning. I know that it's been a little bit chaotic, a little bit last minute, because last night I got in super late and it was just not going to happen with the stream. So, this morning it was. We should be back to a normal stream schedule this week, and moving forward, this should be the last chaotic stream. I was just out of town, and now I'm back, and the holidays are over, and it's a new year, and we can work on some new projects, starting with the Year of the Rabbit, the Lunar New Year stuff. I think I want to get started on that. Maybe we'll get started on that this weekend, so that we can have it done for the Lunar New Year, finish it up for the 22nd, which is, I believe, what day it's on. Someone will have to correct me, and put this aside for now since I feel like it's in a good place. And I might work on this a little bit off stream to get everything kind of put together, and then we can work on seeing how this looks on some mock-ups. We can create some product ideas and things with this brand. It could be fun. Anyways, thank you all for hanging out with me this morning. I really appreciate it. Be sure to follow all the streamers that we had in the chat. I know we had Sean here. Sean Kozel is a streamer here on Behance, and Michelle also streams occasionally, so be sure to go follow both of them. Also, big thank you to everybody who just hung out with me. We had Abu, Artist Online, Corey, Alessandra, Farouk, Frank, Gareth, Adine, Katarina, Leo Dominic, Leonardo, Michelle, Mohammed, Alugbami? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maybe I would just call you Alug. Let me know if you have any preference there. Robert, Shahil, Sean, Stephen Booth, Sue Winder, and Tatiana, and Rick. Katarina says, thank you, Jack. Thank you for hanging out and helping me work through this project. I am always this is as much for you, but more for me, that I can kind of have time to set aside to work on these projects and push through these issues. And, you know, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, when you put time aside to do the thing, and then you have to do it. I'm like blanking on what that word is. Not like forcing yourself to do it, but like, oh gosh. Like when you put something on your calendar so that forces you to do it. That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, another tangent. I hope you enjoyed the tangents today. Habit? Yeah, I guess habit might be it, but anyways. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I'll be back this weekend. I don't know what my schedule looks like, but it'll be back to the normal Saturday and Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we've got Adobe Live, I think, starting here shortly. So stick around and either watch Adobe Live or whoever is streaming up next. I think I saw Bixie was streaming, maybe? Or was streaming. Anyways, hope you have a great start to your day. I know it's early here. I guess it might be later where you are. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Have a nice day. Bye, everyone!